KUGAN CASSIUS Rifle Team in association with Macklin Jim Marbella. Divide and conquer, here in Hull. With me, I've got Eddie Hearn. A little bit of an anticlimactic end to the fight between Geffen and Coyle, Eddie. Geffen eardrum went.
Yeah.
And
I'm disappointed for Tommy because I think how he got up. Firstly,
from the left,
he got hit by the shot. I mean, where I was sitting, he was gone. You know, it's so much like the Derry Matthews knockdown at Craven Park. But he managed to find a way back into the fight, and that's what I'm disappointed about, because I think he would have gone on to win the fight.
Yeah.
He won like the last 3 rounds of the fight, and he probably now won't get the credit that he would have got if he would have, gone on and won the fight, whether it be on points or whatever. So I'm disappointed for that, but I'm delighted that he got the win. He's got, he's shown tremendous courage there. I mean, he was absolutely gone, pleased that he's ended up getting the win.
Luke Campbell obviously destroyed Morales inside 3 rounds. His part of that bargain was done tonight. What's going to happen now? He's going to get Campbell out obviously before the summer.
Yeah, he'll go one more. I think Tommy has said it. I mean, he's had so many tough fights on the spin, And it's one thing's for sure. Luke Campbell hasn't boxed at the level that Tommy Coyle has, and he fancies this fight. He believes he can knock Luke Campbell out. Campbell looked very sharp again tonight, and Tommy sometimes he loves to have a war, and he loves to play off that image, but the more he tells people about it, the more it goes into his head. So sometimes when he boxes, like he did the last couple of rounds there, he boxed beautifully. Then all of a sudden he decides to sit on the ropes and have a trade up, and he gets hit. But he's never, have you ever known Tommy Coyle not to be an exciting fight?
No,
I mean, that's what he's all about.
When will you get the wheels in motion for a potential fight?
It's been in motion for the last probably 3 or 4 weeks, I wanted to get tonight out of the way, and now we can start building something really big for the summer.
Sam Eggington impressed tonight, 5th round stoppage win over the previously unbeaten Shane Singleton. There could be big things for Eggington.
Do you know what? I really rate Sam Eggington. He's 21 years of age, and my dad, he talks a lot of bollocks, but he is a massive, massive Sam Eggington fan. And he believes he's going to go on and do massive things. Dave Caldwell, I'll tell you, Dave Caldwell said this, because if I said it, I'm bound to get ribbed. But he said he reminded him of an English Margarito, the way he fights and comes forward. He's 21, Singleton's a quality fighter, and he's absolutely demolished him. He's going to give him 2 or 3 years, he's going to be a real force in the welterweight division in the world.
So how far is he away from the likes of Frankie Gavin?
He's behind Frankie. Look, Frankie's got a huge fight against Chris Van Heerden, and I'd like to keep him, Sam tracking along in his footsteps, like Josh did with Lee Selby. Pick up, maybe we get the Commonwealth title, maybe the British title comes available as well for Sam. But he's only 21. We don't have to go mad with him. Tonight was a nice step up. It was a good challenge. He's beaten Denton Vassell well. He's beaten Shane Singleton well. He's going nicely, but he's only 21. We don't want him at his peak in big fights at 22, 23. So we just have to slow him down a little bit, get him in a nice fight on May the 9th. But Sam Eggington has got a huge future, he really has.
Rocky Fielding bagged 8 rounds tonight after being out for 8-9 months, so just a solid 8 rounds.
Yeah, I thought he started well. He got a little bit, left it, a little bit boring towards the end, if that's the word, because his hand is sore, and that was his comeback fight tonight, and he felt it a little bit in the fight. But it was good to get the 8 rounds. I think he wanted to get him out there after 4 or 5, but Oliver just told him, look, just be patient, get the rounds in, don't go mad with your hand as well. So that was good. Eric Ocheng against Tom Knight. I was gutted for it. I felt he won the fight by 2 rounds. Saw someone tweet saying, "Oh, another dodgy decision for the home fighter." Eric Ocheng's my fighter. I thought he won the fight by 2 rounds, but he just took his foot off the gas a little bit in the last couple of rounds. And I felt with the knockdowns particularly he did enough. Wins
for Gamo fight and Bradley Saunders both getting stoppage wins. Obviously Bradley ahead of the big fight against Dave Ryan on.
Yeah, I mean the geezer he was in with was an absolute freak. I mean how he was standing up after 5 rounds, I do not know. Bradley needed those rounds. He's training now with Oliver Harrison. Obviously he's got everything he needs. He's got a great setup. MGM Marbella. He's headlining a huge show in Newcastle in a couple of weeks' time. He needed those rounds, and it was important. Gamaliel fight, really impressive stoppage. He looked great, and just a special mention to Charlie Payton as well. Who's
absolutely.
We understand that he's okay, but there have been some concerns, and we wait for a further update.
Going back to Rocky Fielding, obviously you mentioned in the Sky interview about Paul Smith and that, and we don't know what Paul Smith's going to do yet as in regards to the British title, but is this a realistic option for the summer, Fielding versus Paul Smith?
I like the fight. I think, as a promoter, the fight makes sense. You got to think, you know, look at the fights. Paul Smith's obviously had 2 fights with Arthur Abraham, showed that he can operate at world level. He wants those world level fights, and Rocky Fielding would love the Paul Smith fight. So I think the city would love it. It's just a case of whether Paul feels that's the right step for him. I know that, you know, we've already spoken to other fighters and camps. I've spoken to Paul about some other fights that he's got his eyes on, but he's yet to make a full decision as to what he wants to do.
If he vacates the British title, do you know who would be next in line?
I think they'll make Callum Smith against Rocky Fielding, and then it's a whole nother, you know, who wants to take that? You know, do they want to fight each other now? I'd like to build it into a bigger fight, but it's a big fight right now. You know, and I'm always, you know, the first to say, why wait when we can do a huge fight now? And, you know, again, Callum against Rocky is a fight that I think makes sense as well, even now. But I think Paul Smith against Rocky Fielding is a big fight in Liverpool. But, you know, it sees what Paul wants to do.
How did you rate your show tonight?
I thought it was good. I mean, you know, you had 3, in my opinion, 50-50s. And, you know, people saying, oh, Coyle Geffin's not a 50-50. I think after that fight, you know it is. Yeah. And Ochi against Finn was a draw, so I guess you've got to say that was a 50-50. And Eggington against Singleton was going that way until he got pinged. You right?
Sorry, no, Luke wants to go.
Okay, I'll do it. Press it. Yeah, I'll do it now.
Literally 1 minute.
So yeah, good show. Just disappointing if that fight would have continued and Tommy would have gone on to win, it would have been something else. But all in all, good show.
Just quickly, obviously there's been a lot of tweets going back and forth between Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte. What's going on? Is this a potential
Do you know what?
fight?
I haven't spoke to Anthony. I called him today on the way up, but I couldn't get him. But like people telling me, I told him to delete tweets. I mean, like, he lost his rag a little bit. I don't think he particularly likes Dillian Whyte. This is in 6 months' time or less, 3 or 4 months.
Are you
time.
happy to put Dillian Whyte in with Joshua?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's got a good history. It's got a good story. We know what we're doing in April the 4th and then April 25th at the O2. You know, we're looking at also Price in the summer, but Dillian Whyte, all of those names. You know, it's got history. It's a good fight. You know, why not?
All right, at the end, thanks for talking to iFull TV, and catch up with you soon.
All right, mate.